Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's TDU live session on Wednesday. We have with us Calabaza Muelle, which turns out is two people. Who knew? No, I can't do that the whole time. So for you guys that don't know them yet, Calabaza Muelle is Elena and Eduardo. So welcome you all. First off, neither of you are named Calabaza Muelle, nor do I know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Can you just first off introduce yourselves and let us know where that name came from?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Well, actually, we are a couple, and we are always doing things together and projects together, and that's the reason why we wanted to have a shared account with our pseudonym. That is Calabaza Muelle. That means
it stands for in Spanish pumping and spring, because my favorite season of the year is autumn and hers is spring. So it's like a wordplay with spring and pumping.
Autumn and pumpkins.
That's really adorable. That's really cute. Okay. You get a spring pumpkin. I like that a lot.
The other option was yellow beetroot, but we vote it wouldn't.
That's great. All right. So where can you all just tell us where at in the world you are right now?
We are in Seville, in Spain. We are Spanish.
And how did you all meet?
We met at university. We studied aerospace engineering, nothing to do with animation, 3D, lighting, and those stuff. We don't know why we studied that.
I know. My father is an aerospace engineer. My uncle is aerospace engineer. His uncle is aerospace engineer. Her cousin is aerospace engineer. So we were a little biased.
That is such an amazing family business to have. I don't know anyone who has so many family members that are space engineers.
But the thing is that I hate math. And I don't know why I have studied that.
And love arose from equations.
So did you both gain an interest in 3D and visual effects and animation, all that stuff together, or was one of you interested and drew the other one in?
Actually, I introduced Helena to the work. I tried making a lot of things with Blender 10 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point, through YouTube, video tutorials, practicing, and things like that, I actually learned how movies were made. I get more and more motivated, and this is why I wanted to introduce Helena to it.
And I fell in love with all of that.
It's very easy to do. It's a very attractive industry. So did you immediately get drawn to lighting? Did you know that was even a field, or?
No, actually, we started with animation. Then, we tried to do many things, and when we discovered lighting, it was like, wow! I didn't know that it even really exists.
We thought that it was something very technical, not so artistic. It's easy to fall in that error in 3D. The thing is that when you start alone or by your own, but you tend to do very big projects with a lot of things. You begin modeling, texturing, etc., and you never finish because it's so huge. There is so little focus. You have to study the basics, but you never have, or at least I never had the time to put them in practice because I was always learning software, shortcuts, and that was 2 or 3 years, and we learned a lot about software, but very little about art.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case, and it's very easy to lose yourself in huge scopes of projects. I remember Jasmine and I did a thing where we went down years ago to the School of Visual Art here in New York, and we just talked to students about their thesis projects, and all of them had these projects that were just like 10 minutes long and had huge crowds of characters and multiple environments, and we were just like, no, you're never gonna finish this. You need to and it's so important. Yeah, it's so important when you're first getting started to get your scope in line and to just know that it's about if you keep it about a very simple project and not about over the top, you can really make some beautiful stuff. But like you have to streamline that a little bit. That's very true. So are you both still working in the aerospace industry, or what are you up to these days?
No, we are still working in the aerospace industry, but we hope to change our career
this year.
This year.
Right now we are working on our reels, as you know.
Yes.
So we expect to do the career change this year.
Well, that's great. I mean, it doesn't always seem like it, but there are a lot of people in this industry that started off doing other things. I know where I work now, there's a lot of people who were in architecture, a lot of people who were in, well, some people who were in traditional forms of art, like photography and painting, but a lot of architects, a lot of engineers, a lot of people who are making the transition from other industries. So you're in good company. It's a good place to be. So how did you all find out about TDU?
As we were in an engineering company, we always try to do more innovative projects. We are telling our bosses, it would be great to do that or that. Once we convince them to do something in VR. So they
really? That's not easy. What was the VR?
Not easy.
Not easy. No, more than a year.
More than a year to convince them.
Wow.
And they said, well, let's try. So they sent us to a little course of VR
with Unreal Engine 4.
And the teacher taught us some lighting, but
one class.
Yes, only one or two.
That's all you need, just one class.
And you have here an sky dome, and that's all.
More or less.
Yeah, just a sky dome. Yeah, just is it daytime or nighttime? That's all you need to know.
More physical sky and those things. And by how we were talking with him, because he had some past on cinema. Background cinema, he really liked it lighting, but we said, well, let's explore that, and we looked for books, and we fell.
we bought your book.
Oh, look, yeah.
And I think that night, Elena was going out with one of her friends. And I was at home and said, well, I am going to start the book. In that moment, I fell in love. I discovered that you have TDU. I remember I called Elena. Elena, I know you're going to tell me, no, we can't. That we have to do this. We have to do this. And I don't know how. I convinced her in 30 seconds.
Wait, you were very much less time in the VR at the company, much less than a year. You've gotten better.
He was like super happy and super.
And this is how we discover TDU.
That's great, and I hope that that's a big hype. I hope it's lived up to it for you all.
Yeah.
So you've been enjoying it so far? It's all been good?
Why, it's been amazing. Not only for the classes that are amazing, but for the Facebook group, for the community behind us.
Having a bunch of people, professional, other people that are learning as you.
In the same situation, trying to get better artists.
Yes, you receive critiques from you, for instance, or for other students, and there are completely different points of view. And you have also the opportunity to give critiques, which we like a lot, because when we give some critiques, we tend to think, what would I do if I were in his position, or trying to do that, and we say some list of things, and then you come and you say, well, I also do that, and you say, whoa, how can I have thought about that?
Yeah.
And it's constantly learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's giving the critiques is just as important as receiving them, because and I've always felt that way, and that's why we're always trying to encourage you all to do critiques of each other, and because it's important to because when you're looking at your own work, you maybe know how long you spent modeling something, or how long it took you to texture that little, like to get the glass that's on the table in the background just perfect. So you're really reluctant to maybe make that out of focus or give that little depth of field. But if you have somebody else look at it who's like, oh no, that can go out of focus and then it'll look a lot better, and you can do that to somebody else's work, it helps you look at your own work objectively. So you can just say, okay, this is what will help make the image look better, and then yeah, and it's just really nice to have you guys on here and to have the community here watching you all, because again, like this is something that we're trying to build. We're trying to build a community of people together that can work together, because Jasmine and I don't have all the answers. The other industry professionals, Ari Ross, and the other people that chime in on occasion, they won't have all the answers. So it's really important. Speaking of which, Vedat, who's one of our other students, just asked a question, which I'll relay over to you guys. He asks, how do you start making images? Like, what is your checklist as you're beginning? Like, how do you get rolling?
First of all, references. We look for references.
Thanks, Michael.
You are a great student. So that's the best answer I've ever heard. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hired.
After so many years, we were starting always with, oh, it would be cool to do that or that other things, but we never looked for references. We thought we could make everything out of the head, and your work improves so much more when you start from a reference. So the first thing we usually do is to
get reference, and then have the scene set to be lit.
Yes, layout. We try to do some interesting composition with the depth, with the third rules, and things like that. And after that, we start with the shading and a very rough light blocking to see how things are gearing up together. Then we refine shading, because then you see, oh, this is too dark, or this is too
bright, or whatever.
Or I don't see the detail, or I can see repeating those things. And after refining somehow the texture, then we
start to iterate between lighting and compositing in a very low resolution, and it's a very iterative process. And then
when we are more or less happy about what we have got, we post it on Facebook and began the critiquing time and more iterations, but the shots really improve. So it's a half pleasure and iteration time that personally I enjoy a lot, and I think Elena too. It's something we like. So if you do something you like, you don't care. It's only enjoying.
No, that's a great point, and it's you said something interesting that reminded me of a story that somebody told me. It was all about how they like to think of of lighting like drawing, doing a charcoal drawing, and it's because you kind of block out the large pieces first, and then you start refining in from there, and then you'll erase something and refine. And so it's always good when you're working to work in broad strokes and then refine it from there. And that's always the best way to do that. So you all explained it extremely well. Like you gather reference, you build the layout, and then you go from there. Question for me from Vedat. How much do you think the talent plays a role in being a professional 3D lighter? Just like raw talent, I would say it's about half. I would say it's 50-50. So I would say that 50% is having an aesthetic eye. But like I wasn't a born artist. I couldn't draw when I was a kid. I couldn't, I didn't have that natural skill set. And I know a lot of people that didn't. And for me, it was about learning and practicing and working really hard and kind of grinding away at learning how to draw and then learning about composition. And I actually think that being bad at it at first helped me in my career more than if I was good at it from the beginning, because then it would be easy. And it felt insurmountable early on when I was first starting, that that I thought it was going to be too difficult to be a professional artist. But because I was able to overcome that, then all the other obstacles that happened once I got into the career seemed doable. It didn't seem so insurmountable. It seemed like I could, because I'd already worked through this hard thing, and I had a very systematic approach to how I do art. And this is kind of the way I critique. It's like, like when I look around at the image and I just kind of pinpoint things, and I'm like, okay, we can refine this, we can do this. And I'm constantly asking the questions like, how do we get more shaping? How do we direct the viewer's eye? How do we create better mood? And it's like, and then you refine from there. So I would say it's about half just having an aesthetic eye, and half giving yourself the opportunity to train. And I would say a big part of it's just patience with yourself and self-control, because it's not going to be good at first. You're not going to be great. Like, this is hard. This is a hard thing to do out of the box. And so and this is why we make our classes never ending, really, because we know that people need time to refine their work and to get better and to keep growing. And we know it's a long-term process. So that's why we sell too. Sorry to hijack that for a second. I just took that away from you all. But yeah, so if anybody else has questions, keep them coming. But now I have a question for you all. Okay, so actually I'm going to go through some rapid fire questions with each of you. And so I'll ask a question, and then you all can take turns answering. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, what was your favorite film as a child?
The Lion King.
Wow, that was fast.
Robin Hood, the Disney version.
Yes. That's great. Okay, those are great answers. Okay. And then and I stole this from inside the actor studio, but what sound or noise do you love, and what sound or noise do you hate?
I love in the intro of the old Scooby-Doo, the bat makes some. I love that.
And I love when you are cooking pasta and you move the spaghettis and it sounds like I don't know how to do the song, but
That's amazing. Go ahead.
I hate in the office we have a ring bell tone when we receive a message. When I hear that on Sundays, I hate it.
And me, I hate the alarm clock in the mornings.
Oh yeah, that's the worst one. I thought I hated it, and now I have a baby, so I never even get to the alarm clock. It's just a baby crying sound. Okay, so next question. So you all have had careers in aerospace engineering. You're working towards being lighting artists. Is there any other career, any other profession that you've ever wanted to do?
Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a musician. Mm-hmm. I studied guitar and piano at the conservatory for many years, mm-hmm. and I wanted to be a conductor.
Wow, that's great. That's really cool.
And now I would love to be a lighter, but I think I would be happy also being an animator.
Yeah, that's good.
Me too. When I was younger, I wanted to be an inventor. but there is no such a things like that. So I changed my mind, and now I want to be in 3D. And I love animation, I love lighting, cinema in general. Any position will do.
That's great. So is there any project, any film throughout history that you wish you could have worked on? Anything that's like, oh man, I wish I could have been a part of that?
It's very difficult. Maybe Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh yeah. Why Wreck-It Ralph? That's an interesting one.
Because it's so cute. It's
That's great. I'm actually working with the lighting supervisor now from Wreck-It Ralph. I shouldn't be saying this live, but I'll talk to him and see if I can get you two in contact and maybe. I don't know. He's very busy, but I'll see what I can do for you.
Thank you.
For me, I think it will be Captain Underpants.
Nice.
It's the movie I firstly realized how important lighting was, because it lit with very saturated light, but I think they combine very well, and I thought, wow, I love that. How can we do that? And it was more or less the same period when we
discovered TDU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that's great. Yeah, it's kind of like the thing that you discover when you're getting into the industry. That's the thing that gets you most excited. Like for me, it was Finding Nemo. Like that was the movie that got me really interested. So, and that always every time it's on, I watch it and I tell everyone about it. So it's like the mood that has. Last question: what would your absolute dream job in this industry be if you could pick any job?
Anyone.
Okay. In fact, we have a very, very long-term dream to become directors together. But
great.
It's a very, very, very long-term dream.
Maybe with 80 years old or something.
Yeah, it'll happen. That's good. That's great. That's a really good one. All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. There's one more question. George Jimenez asks, it's a TDU question about whether or not there'll be any Houdini classes or effects classes. We don't have any planned at the moment. We are focusing on doing some lighting stuff now and into this year, but definitely after. We'll expand a little bit and do some effects classes and some other classes in the industry, but for right now, we're really focused on getting as many lighting classes out there as we can. But so stay with us, George. We'll get there soon. We promise. But yes, okay. So thank you very much, both of you, for taking the time to join us. You all have been incredible students. I'll post the examples of your guys' work down below if that's okay. After this is up and officially online, so that others can see the incredible work that you've created in your time over your time here at TDU. And thank you again. And you all watching, if you have any questions for Team Calabaza Muelle, let me know and we can pass that along to them. All right, thank you both so much again.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.